레벨업 준비됐어? 여행하면 사진이지.
이런 별 사진 찍어본 적 있어?
난 태양이랑 입맞춤도 하는데?
우린 달에서 진짜 입맞춤.
사진은 내가 이뻐야지.
레벨업! 더 리듬 오브 코리아! 레벨업 준비됐어? 시작은 가볍게 얼굴부터.
다음엔 발끝이지. 이제 옷을 골라볼까?
이 정도는 돼야 고를만 나지.
여기선 나한테 맞춰줌.
레벨업! 더 리듬 오브 코리아!
Good evening and welcome to our K studio with the Hindu and in association with Korea Tourism Association. We had a wonderful session a few months ago in April where we tracked and traced the rise of the Korean wave in India during the pandemic, and we thought of doing something, pushing it a little further and doing something that brought in an experiential element. So today we have a wonderful group of experts who are big K-drama fans. And first, I would like to introduce the director of Korea Tourism Organization, Mr. Yoongul Choi, to say a few words. He has been leading at the forefront during the pandemic and has brought in so many interesting developments with Korea Tourism Organization, and it'd be nice to have him back on our platform. Mr. Yoongul Choi, lovely to see you here and looking forward to what you have to tell us. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yoongul Choi, Director of Korea Tourism Organization in India. And I'd like to start off by thanking the team of Hindu and especially Ms. Rosella Stefan for putting together this special event. It pleased me greatly to greet our diverse and experienced panel of experts today who all share my love for Korea. The rise of popularity of Hallyu or Korean way in India, especially in the last 1 year or so, cannot be denied. And I think the huge interest and turnout for today's event is a testament to that. So I feel K-dramas in particular are a good gateway to many of the popular aspects of Korea and the Korean culture. And this is seen in the way many online platforms are streaming Korean content and significant rise in interest in Korean beauty brands and Korean food. So this is one of the unique strengths of South Korea, because when a person becomes a Korean fan, they are more likely to travel to South Korea in the future. But till the time comes when international travel starts again, we KTO want to give Indian audience the different Hallyu contents on the umbrella of K experience. So you can watch and enjoy and participate from the safety of your homes. So today is a day to dive deep into Korea, and I hope you will enjoy this event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Choi. Let me introduce you today to our moderator. She is Pooja Talwar, Executive Editor of Entertainment and Lifestyle at Good Times. And she has been part of the industry for 26 years and has been a big K-drama fan since 2016, isn't it, Pooja?
Yes.
So she has stories to share, photos to share, and she will also share or introduce you to our wonderful panelists today. Over to you, Pooja. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosella. And watched nearly 500 titles. And as they say, you know, the K-drama universe is like a maze. Once in and you can't get out of it. And I'm sure my panel would agree with me on that. So introducing Pooja Dhingra, who needs no introduction. She is the CEO and founder of Love 15. And let me tell you, her cakes and macaroons are as drool-worthy as the characters we see in the drama, if not more. Thank you so much, Pooja.
Thank you for having me.
So next is Chef Dhruv Oberoi, most sought after. He'll have you eating out of his hands with, here's something very special lined up for us. Thank you so much, Dhruv, for joining us here.
Thanks for having me over.
And Nishat Fatima, who's a senior fashion editor, writer, and photographer. She'll tell us how the Korean dramas, the characters have their fashion game on point. Thank you so much, Nishat, for joining us here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And then we have Anu Menon. Well, her Lola Kuti, as I say, was my therapy. Thank you so much, Anu. Well, she is a well-known actor and comedian, and well, she has something up her sleeve. Thank you so much, Anu.
감사합니다. Was that okay?
Yes. And then last but not the least, we have Analia, who is a pro with her hands when it comes to makeup, and she's going to tell us a few hacks. Welcome, Analia. And yeah, she's on mute. Hi, Analia, welcome. And for our audience, just a reminder, please submit your questions in the question and answer box, and we'll try to answer as many as we can in the next half hour or so. So, well, as Rosella introduced me saying that I've been watching K-dramas for 6 years now, but earlier I would be questioned, why am I watching these dramas? And who knew that the love story between a North Korean army officer and a South Korean heiress would give that tagline, come fall in love, just another, definition, and everyone got embraced by the K-drama universe. And it has this innate ability, which I'm sure all of you would agree with me. Virtual strangers have become friends. Online chats have translated into WhatsApp groups. Someone somewhere is watching a K-drama as time zones have blurred. And please don't judge me. It's also another beauty of K-dramas is it spans across generations. I have friends who tell me their parents are watching it. My nephews loved Big Boss of Descendants of the Sun. So being a journalist, we were never allowed to fangirl. And I've been part of fan meets where I've shot people fangirling. But guess what? 5 years ago, when Singapore opened Dalcom Coffee's first, cafe, I was there. And can we have the slide there? Recreating my Descendants of the Sun moment. And they will just show you what I was up to. So yeah, that's me. I could not meet Yushi Ji and Dr. Kang, so I decided to just pose with their cutout. And it's for keeps. So, well, I have done that as well. But then as I say, age no bar when it comes to these dramas. And also, as Netflix has said that the viewing of K-dramas has increased by over 4 times in the last 1 year in Asia. And in India, the demand has increased by 370%. So well. And it'll keep increasing with people like us here. So let's go over to Pooja. So Pooja, also let me tell you, she has created some amazing K-drama merchandise, and I so agree with her. I love cake and I love K-dramas. So Pooja, you were introduced to Korean food way before
Yes.
you before the K-dramas, you got engulfed by the love of Ji Chang-wook and K-dramas. And she also had a K-drama themed birthday party. So tell us.
I only turned 35. I'm so happy that I don't have to be embarrassed about fangirling and my love for K-dramas with this group. So that's great.
I was 45 in that picture.
But yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of Korean food. When I lived in Paris, almost every weekend we had our favorite restaurant that we would go to. And actually, 10 years back, one of my Korean friends moved to Bombay with me for about a month or two. And we actually did a lot of Korean workshops and classes in my kitchen. And so I kind of knew I had like the basics down of what the food is like. I just know that 10 years ago, it was so hard to source, even like gochujang and the basics was so difficult. And now you go on like urban platter and you go on Amazon and you just have everything. So my pantry, when I moved to my new apartment, and I had nothing, but I had the ramen, the Korean ramen packs, and I have like my pantry is full of those. So yeah, I've been a very big fan, and I think that everyone will agree that when you're watching a K-drama, you just get so hungry,
I know.
The whole time I'm like, I want ramen, and like I don't even eat half the meat that they show them eating, but I just crave it all the time. And the fried chicken, I was telling Rosella about it. I said the fried chicken and the beer, my childhood best friend introduced me to K-dramas. We watch it together, and every time we finish, we're like, let's call Sun and Moon, which is like our favorite Korean restaurant in Bombay, and I think we're like their best customers, and we'll order soju and fried chicken, and it's incredible. And you are right. I have given you guys the pictures. You can show them now of my big crash landing on my friends don't understand my obsession with K-drama. So I actually had like a full K-drama themed birthday party last month, and my friends kind of just took this obsession and they were like, okay, we'll on the one day, so it was called Crash Landing on Pooj, and that was, and
I totally get that. Oh wow, lovely.
And that was my birthday cake, yeah. And the merch was born out of it. And I just feel like we've kind of formed this community that shares recipes, food, and I think in a time of a lot of uncertainty and loneliness, people just found some sort of like comfort.
Very true. And also you've created merchandise. And also, something about the desserts there. I always see this cream cake in birthday parties with fruit, and you've created the Korean lemon tart.
Yes.
And desserts, usually you have bingsu and shaved ice. They seem to be a little health conscious, but they keep tucking into all those cream cakes.
I mean, they're always in coffee shops, right? There's always like coffee shop and some dessert. And I mean, I don't know what the deal with Subway is, but everyone's always in a Subway. But yeah, like the cream cakes, and you're exactly right, the shaved ice. I'm, not a really big fan of like the Asian style dessert with red bean paste and all of that, but actually watching these, I can't wait to go to Seoul and actually try all of this now.
And maybe introduce your macarons and pastry and open Le 15 Seoul. We're looking forward to that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would be a dream come true.
Maybe you can just in the mean send a coffee. And also, last but not the least, about the merchandise, can we expect more? You have totes, you have cups.
We have totes, we have mugs, and it actually just, it was born out of me just in lockdown, just saying like, I don't want to deal with my problems. I just want cake and K-dramas. And I was like, that should be on a t-shirt and a mug. And the day we launched it, I mean, I was like, okay, let's just make 500,000. And day one, we were sold out. So there's so many of us here.
Absolutely. And it's my favorite cup. And now let's go over to Dhruv. And Dhruv has been, he's got some exciting treats for us. Dhruv, as we were discussing, as Pooja and I discussed, it's like a mini food festival, Kimchi is like air. If you don't have kimchi, you are cancelled, literally cancelled. And ramen, who knew the humble noodle could be a conversation starter and the start of something saucy as well, as we've seen in the dramas. And what is a night out without chicken feet and fried chicken? So what has been your observation, and tell us, what do you have for us?
So first of all, I think hello everyone. Thanks for having me over for this really fun series. I'm really looking forward for this. It's long that I have cooked Asian. Just to tell you a little thing about myself, I have started my career with a Japanese restaurant called I. So my love of Asia or love of Japan started like 12 years back. And somehow one fine day, we had a very amazing event where a Korean couple was getting married in the restaurant. And there he asked us to cook something Korean. So we all chefs were like just sitting down, brainstorming on things like what to cook. So somehow we find out like so many amazing flavors and recipes which can be introduced to India. And that time, 80% of the customers or the guests was Indian. So after the event, I think hands down, I think everybody loves the Korean influenced meal. So that's the time where I was introduced to kimchi, bulgogi, bimbap, so dishes like that. And of course, they have an amazing set of desserts, like how Pooja mentioned. They have a beautiful cream cheese bun. So they have amazing pancakes with like amazing syrups. So the best thing about the Korean flavors are, I think it's very adaptable. Like it's very good for Indian palate. Like that's what we were seeing in the entire K drama. That at every break or every half an hour, there's some guy eating a Korean fried chicken or a ramen or a dessert or a pancake. So yeah, so that's how today I've just cooked something inspired by that particular series. So I used to watch the series called The King, which I tried last lockdown. The whole love for the series started from this movie called Parasite. I think that's one of the most awarded movie, I guess.
Yeah.
If you know what Parasite is.
From Ramdon to
Yeah. So then I started watching this, and I think the thing which was very attracted to me was like the whole history, the whole culture, the way they live life, the way they treat food, the way they treat people. So that was quite amazing, and that was quite unique about that particular country. So yeah, so here we have a first dish. I hope you can see that.
Yep.
So that's the Korean fried chicken. So I've already cooked the chicken. So there are like few basics of the K cuisine, which is of course the kimchi, the fried chicken, and this beautiful marinade or a reduction which I have made. I don't know whether you can see that. I rolled over the chicken. So this is made with apple reduction, a little bit of kimchi and honey. Can you see that?
Yes.
So this is the secret of a Korean fried chicken, because that is also known as a candy chicken, if you know, right? So this sauce is something which we have made for this particular burger. So burger is nothing. Basically, we're going to spread some aioli, which is made out of a Japanese mayonnaise, because as Pooja will agree to me, like we are obsessed with Japanese mayonnaise, especially all the Indians, because it has something in it. I don't know what. I tried to figure out what, but somehow I couldn't able to know. So Japanese mayonnaise simply spread over the bread. I'm gonna throw some kimchi, which is like a homemade kimchi. I think now most of them have learned how to do kimchi in the lockdown, because I've seen a lot of chefs teaching how to do a kimchi, and it is fairly simple now. It's one fermented vegetable. People have started doing fermented fruits, like they do apple kimchi, they do the pear kimchi, so that can be done. So your bun is ready, and here's your chicken, the KFC Korean fried chicken, not the Kentucky fried chicken. Now I'm gonna throw this reduction of your apple, which is the secret of a Korean fried chicken.
No, I think you
Not
should
enough?
all just jump in and eat this.
I agree. So they actually dunken the whole thing into some kind of a bowl where everything has been, it has been like drenched in it. So cover with it, and then here you go. The Korean fried chicken burger. I wish you all can try this. So
No, you can just teleport it to us.
Yeah,
and we can have some mixed juice with it. Yeah.
Virtually you can have it. So here we go, our Korean fried chicken burger with kimchi and a caramelized apple glaze. Then I've done a simply salad, which is made out of ramen. So this is a cold version of ramen, where you blanch the ramen simply, and you can accompany with like a various accompaniments. You can start with avocado, corn, edamame. I've done some fried garlic, fried onion, some bok choy, some greens. So simply that can be dressed with a dressing made out of ginger, with touch of there's a hidden salt called hondashi, which is like a tuna salt. The dressing has been made. I'm going to pour it over, and the salad is ready to go. Good for summers if you're craving for a salad made out of ramen because ramen has that punch of umami. That's why you keep craving for it because it has that kind of a salt in it. So here you go, a classic ramen turned into a salad, as simple as that. Lastly, this is a dish which I say like where we match Korea to India. Like, you know, it's like India meets Korea. If they're the dish, I think this is the one. So it's like a kimchi chicken tikka. So what we have done here, we have done nothing. It's a simple, basic chicken tikka marination. We just replace our Indian chilies with a kimchi base. Everything is same yogurt, same garlic, same kind of a spice, but I've reduced down the spice, increased more kimchi to it, and we cooked over a charcoal, and here you go, so Korean kimchi tikka. So where India meets Korea. So very simple dish, very, very tasty. You know how people are obsessed with chicken and tikka in India. I think worldwide people are mad about barbecue. So here you go, the last dish. And lastly, I couldn't get beer. So we have this beautiful jelly which is gonna replicate Boba Pearls. So I think Boba Pearls are quite huge in Korean cafes, and that is something I have seen that in the cafe which was shown in the series called the Alley. So Alley Cafe was serving a boba tea, you know, like how you do it in all the cafes. So here I've gonna pair this with kombucha, which is again a Korean fermented tea, which will give you a fizz of beer without any, without any high. So here you go. You have a kombucha with, you can do it with boba pearls. You can do with whatever jelly you have. And here you go. So that's the last thing, which is the kombucha made with boba pearl inspired jelly.
Wow.
If anybody has anything, any questions, please let me know.
Yes, our audience, please put in your questions in the question Q&A box, and we shall ask Dhruv. Wow,
Great.
cheers. And now,
So that.
we've spoken about food. By the way, Pooja Dhingra has the best recommendations of Korean restaurants and dishes as well. So these are your two go-to people. Now we talk about fashion. And Nishat, now to you. You know, the fashion game is on point and it reflects the tone of the series we are watching. So, from the classic designer wear, I see something in the runway, as you also said, and you will see it on screen as we saw it, Yoon Se's fashion style in Crash Landing on You, or Itaewon Class, she was boho chic, and then also the streetwear. It's anywhere between retro, trendy, vintage, and also reflects the street. So what have been your observations, and which are your favorite dramas where you felt they got their fashion on point? And let me tell you all, when she watched the Tale of the Nine-Tailed Fox, she actually went looking for the rings.
Yeah, I tried very hard to find them, but no. I had to make do with some weird, almost perhaps the kind of thing there. But first of all, I'd like to say that Dhruv, share the recipes, please. We need them.
Anytime, anything for K-drama.
Right. And when it comes to fashion, as you said, what I see about Korean fashion is that, they've really mastered streetwear. Like streetwear is their thing. So if you look at New York or you look at Paris, you have chic, and New York is a bit more sporty. But Korean is completely streetwear, and they do it really nicely. So of course you do see, so what you see is a mix of fashion from the runways, which we can see in series like It's Okay Not to Be Okay. If I could have the slides on, please. Right. So yeah, so this is It's Okay Not to Be Okay, and those are, so you've got Soyeji, I think, wearing every international brand designer out there. She wore Alexander McQueen, she wore Prada, she wore Miu Miu, she wore Zimmermann, she wore Chanel, vintage Dior, everything. So it's a great reflection of what they can do. But what you see is that they pick it up in their style, and their style is quite clean. It's a bit minimalist. It's quite feminine. And the things that you can take away especially is the fact that the jewelry game is really on point. Mm-hmm. We can just look, I think some of my favorite, I've just compiled some of my favorite looks from different dramas, and you're of course seeing a lot of Crash Landing as well. I couldn't find some photos which included, I think, search www. Kong Hyo-jin is one of my favorites. She has great style. And then if you see the men, then you see the fact that they wear a lot of color and they wear cropped trousers, which you don't normally see otherwise. And also hair color, amazing. So they and accessories, and of course, beauty on men is something else. So their makeup. I now source my orange lipsticks from them. I'm sorry, there's obviously a cat in the background because how can you have a webinar without a cat? Yeah, so I think that's really, I really enjoy their street style, but also some of their high fashion.
And also the way they complement the accessories. I've never seen, those bags and watches, how beautifully they're laid out. I could be in a showroom, when they... So what do you have to say about the accessories game? As you said, it's minimalist also, but it's just so trendy.
Well, I'm attempting to wear mismatched earrings right now as a tribute to Korean fashion. Please say hello to Simba. Yeah, but also their accessories are very, very delicate and high fashion. And those dressing rooms are like, oh, I would want one of those, except that, possibly my house would fit into that or something like that.
And as you spoke about men, also the androgynous fashion, and also they wear makeup. And sometimes, I feel the lip color on the girl is a little more lighter than the one on the male, but it's really beautiful the way they carry it off.
Yeah. I think that was like my biggest, that was my biggest shock when I saw, hey, is that eyeshadow? Is that, so, lipstick, if you watched 80s Hindi movies, you saw that they were wearing lipstick, but you knew that they were wearing lipstick because they were trying to get a pink lip. But here they're not trying for a pink lip. They're really giving you lip color, which is great. And after some time, it's actually really, it's hot sometimes.
But it's interesting how they've woven global themes and styles and given their own, aesthetics and touch. That's interesting as well.
Yeah, I think especially with streetwear, you see a lot of, almost athleisure. You'll find that they wear crop trousers with sneakers. And also you find women showing more leg than anything else. And in fact, I was looking at the September issues and, so some of the words that were popping out for trends this season were like boxy blazers and tailored suits and stuff like that. And you already see all of that on K-drama in many of the series. So they're already like on the ball, basically.
And also, lastly, if you see the historical dramas, I do see an Indian connect also, the churidar kind of low pants and those Angarkha and Peshwa style collar.
Yeah, almost. It's quite similar in that sense. But I think a lot of people across countries wore similar-ish outfits. So yeah, I mean, all of us are just waiting to go to South Korea whenever it opens up. Yeah, hey, Seoul, we're coming. Especially, hey, I do want to mention Itaewon Plus, which had the really, really actually different fashion because you don't normally see women looking so tough. But yeah, so we are looking to go to Seoul and to Itaewon, obviously.
All right. So thank you so much, Nishal. And then now, since we were talking about K-fashion, how can K-beauty be far away? Whether it's the 6 to 7 point part skincare routines, the glistening skin tones. And by the way, I must tell you, when Song Hye Kyo wore the double tone lipstick, episode 3 of Descendants of the Sun, within 17 hours, Lanish was sold out. And, so that's the impact these dramas have. So we have Analia joining us. She has worked with some of the biggest brands and also is one of the most sought after makeup artists. So tell us what strikes you about K-beauty and their makeup.
Hi guys, so I'm Analia, and what I really like today, I try to copy So Ye-ji's makeup from which It's Okay Not to Be Okay. So basically, like as you've seen in like Korean movies, you'll see like the actress, they have very plain like glass skin and the lips are never defined. It's always like subtle, like, baby lips. I really like that. And the eyes, as you can see, I've done a little darker eyes today as compared. For Koreans, this is actually a very dark eye. They usually go for really light eyes, but today I wanted to like go a little bolder. So I copied It's Okay Not to Be Okay, the actress eye makeup. So I'll be showing you today, like, I'll show you like quickly how to do this look. Like, it's like, it just takes 10 seconds to get this baby lips. Wow. And I'll just show you how to get this eye makeup. And what I really like about K-beauty and like Korean makeup is that we really focus a lot on skin. it's so important. Like the makeup should be minimal, but your skin has to do the talking. And they do like about 10 to 15 steps. I myself have about like 9 steps in my skincare routine. But of course, Koreans go extra and they have 15 steps as well, you know. But I think it's really important like to take care of the skin. And for us, it's not just like CTM, but like you have to do in between, like the emulsion, the serum as well. You have to add all those in between. But let's just quickly show you, because we have very less time. I want to show you how to quickly get this achievable makeup. Like first, I'm going to start with the lips, the baby lips. So I have 2 colors.
Yep.
As you can see, her lips are like nothing is there. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to apply inside right here. I'm not applying all over, just inside. And then you'll have to keep doing this so that you can see that, you know, gradient effect. Yeah. And then you can just dab it with the lips with your hands. So you don't want that defined look. You want like a very soft baby lips look. And then you take a darker color and just put inside. So, camera. So can you like see the difference here? So it's not like a, you know, it's not like a really dark look, but and again, it's not defined. They're like this very soft baby lips look. So that's the look that we're achieving here. And then, as you can see, the eye makeup here. Again, Koreans, what they love, like, so I'm going to copy over here. It's okay not to be okay. I love this actress, Soya G's look. I'll just share the picture, which I really like in this. Here, I've shared the picture there, right? So it's really simple look. It's a really simple look. So we're going to use a shade of brown, this shade. Just apply this all over the lids. Very roughly, you can just apply it. Like anyone can just do this look. Look up. And just apply it down as well. Then you just take a copper color, like a shimmer base. They love the shimmers, Koreans. So you want to put it right here. And again, you apply the copper shimmer all over the lids. As you can see, like I don't have to really focus because I don't have to be so detailed. I can just roughly apply it with my finger. So anybody can just do this look. It's really easy. And then I'm taking like a lighter shimmer. This is in rose. They love the rose shimmers. So I'm taking this rose shade and applying to the center. And of course, how can we forget the love bands? Okay? They love this to look like shimmery. This is like the go-to Korean eye makeup look. Is it like visible on the camera? And then the eyelashes. Look down. For this video, I'm not going to use lashes because it'll take up time to apply it. But the lashes is best you apply for very natural looking lashes. When you're applying eyeliner here, we don't want like thick cat eyeliner. We just want a very thin layer of eyeliner as I've applied. Close eyes. Like this, just like a thin eyeliner. And you want the liner to go down. Open eyes. Look down. Open it. See over
Can
here.
you
Like
bring
this.
her closer to the camera, Analia, so we can see a little bit closer, please?
Yeah, sure, sure. The eyeliner, like usually we have this eyeliner which goes winged, right? Koreans don't like the winged liner. They like which goes down, this following the shape of the eye, you know, like this. So like a really thin, because that's it. Because like most of us, we are monolids, right? So for us, we don't look nice with like really thick liners. So we just follow the eyes and just go down like that.
Thank you so much. Is there one quick hack you can tell us, one beauty hack before we go on to Anu?
Yeah, so I think for the glass skin look, like with your foundation, always go for like a very thin coverage foundation or go BB cream. If you have a lot of acne, but you still want a glass look, just go for spot concealing. Not like a full coverage, but spot concealing.
All right. And thank you so much. And let's go to Anu. And Anu is an avid watcher. I've been, enjoying her reels. And she actually wants to go to Seoul and do a shampoo ad as well. So do tell us, and you said there were similarities between, the humor and the culture. As I said, like Crash Landing could have been our own, it's the Korean Veer Zara. So tell us, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Pooja. I would just like to admit, first of all, yes, I'm Anu Menon and I am a K-drama addict. I think it's the healthiest addiction to have, also because no one expects any recovery from you. So yay. So I just want to go through the reasons, I think, why we love Korean drama so much. I think it's like, number one, the romance just feels extra special. Like they just elevate a small moment to an extra special moment. Like at episode 8, the protagonists finally hold hands. With anticipation at episode 10, the protagonists finally kiss. To the point that now when I watch Western shows and they make out in the first 15 seconds, I was like, "Chee, they're moving so fast. Kuch to sharam kiya karo." And then you realize now I'm just fundamentally incapable of getting used to that pace, But yes, like most people,
in episode 13 and 14 is the breakup.
Don't give it away, na, Pooja. Don't be a killjoy like this veteran of 400, such a show off. But yeah, like everyone, my husband also has made peace with the fact that, as soon as travel restrictions are gone, I'm off for Soju and Gongyu. He, in fact, knows his place. He got me this T-shirt. I wear it with pride. I think reason number 2 also is that we love this element of emotional destruction that comes with Korean drama, no? Because there's that beautiful melancholy soundtrack. There are these poetic lyrics. There are these tears that flow copiously. There are people holding a gaze for so long. So you are happy and weepy at the same time, and it's magical. And also when you watch them, they're so beautiful. You're like, wow, angels have come on earth and they've all settled in South Korea. Their features are chiseled and sculpted. I feel sometimes like Michelangelo from heaven is like, high five, Saranye. Then, of course, the fact that reason number 3, it is written by women. So as a result of which, the men are always immaculate and sensitive. And I feel like they make perfection suffer from an inferiority complex. They all look like they've come out of London Fashion Week. Not one hair is out of place. And the women, on the other hand, could be like disheveled, a little messy, a little cloudy. And then they find love in the arms of this flawless Korean man who is not afraid to cry. And you're like, oh, I love this alternative masculinity. Hashtag oppas for life. Then reason number 4 are these creative plot lines, right? All the stories, everyone's lives are always interconnected. The second leads are sometimes lovelier than the protagonists. And you have like a 900-year-old goblin who's searching for a human bride. You have a mermaid who's fallen in love with a con man. You have a monarch who travels to the parallel universe to meet his lady love. The thing is, like, Korean drama yanks you into this world and you're hooked. Like, they make this reality real, Also, I think it's a false notion that it's only romance. Like my husband has said very categorically that, Anu, I cannot watch rom-com. I said, obviously, because you don't want to suffer from low self-esteem. So there are options. There's a whole gambit, right? There's a range. You have historical and fantasy and sci-fi and thrillers and zombie flicks. And so therefore, together with my husband, we watch like the likes of Flower of Evil or an Asdal Chronicles or a Signal, something that he feels happy about. Then my other, like the humor, like we were talking about, and I like to digress, I'm so sorry. But obviously humor is integral to Korean drama. And what I like is the fact that irrespective of how serious the drama is, there will always be a comic interlude. And this could be either via gestures or just, dialogue delivery, or it could be sarcastic or subtle or slapstick, but it's always essential to the drama. And I remember once I saw an interview where Song Joong-ki said, I cannot explain the reason why Korean drama is as massive as it is, because I feel like the storylines are so Korean, the culture is so Korean, the humor is so Korean. What is it that people like isn't so much lost in translation? And I think as Indians, we don't have that problem because Asian cultures are so similar. So it's like same, but different. Like in Tamil, we say Amma and Appa, and it's like, and Tamil Nadu is very far from South Korea. Whether it is a
100 common words between Tamil and Korean, by the way.
Is it 100? Wow.
100.
Wow.
Because
And
I'm
that's
learning
the
the
thing, like
language.
it's inexplicable, right?
Yeah.
The reasons why. And like small things you identify with, right? You don't have to explain the fact that you have to bow down when you see someone, you leave your shoes at the entrance, you have that same societal familial pressure, study hard, get a good job, marry right, oh, you've married the wrong person, all these things. Array, you're in your 30s, you're living with your parents, all these things you identify with. Is that modern and traditional life that India also has. And then, of course, there is the younger man, older woman romance. I started watching Korean drama with a show called The Secret Affair. All right. This 20-year-old guy falls for a 40-year-old woman and he looks at her and says, oh my God, you will look so beautiful at 60. I'm like, what is this magic dust in Korean skincare? I want it. And the thing is, the rest of the world, 30 is the new 20. In Korea, 60 is the new 20. Like in the rest of the world, it's called a cougar romance. In Korea, it's called a Nuna romance. It just flows off the tongue also so much sweeter. I'm on board with this culture. But yeah, more than anything, I feel like you can, the heartbreak of one Korean show ending, you can find solace in the arms of another Korean show. So it's like you can be a serial K-drama cheater and be none the worse for it. Because I feel like as women, we all deserve to be loved by a Korean man at least once in our lives. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it.
I so agree with you. Thank you so much, Anu. And thank you all of you. The audience have sent us a lot of questions. But before that, we have a little quiz. And guess, you cannot be taking part in that quiz. I'm so sorry about that. So, well, our viewers, you have to give your answers in the chat box, and it's the fastest finger. So on your fingers, get set, go. So, well, the first question, which show among these does not have a second season? Oh, wow, answers are already coming in. You guys are experts here. Oh my God. And I will announce the winner. Well, the answer is that I'm already getting the answer from the guests. It's the one class indeed. Oh my God, I must say that we really have a fabulous audience. Question number 2. What is the name of the pigeon in Vincenzo? I know you cannot answer. I see she's itching to answer. Oh, wow. Well, the answer is, well, yes, it's Injagi indeed. Question number 3. I guess already know the answers. Which of these dramas is about a North Korean and South Korean falling in love? Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, and of course the answer is the obvious one, because this was the drama that got a whole lot of people hooked onto the K universe. Yeah, Crash Landing on You. And now our other question. Which drama does not have soul swapping as its central theme? Oh my God. I must say, India has done the Hallyu wave proud here. And I shall announce the winners shortly. Yes, it's indeed Sweet Home. Thank you so much. And you have goodies coming your way. Okay, which of these K-dramas revolve around a parallel dimension? Oh my God. They're magic fingers here, yeah? I'm just so impressed. Wow. Yes, The King, the Eternal Monarch. We shall announce the winners, and well, these are the exciting hampers coming your way. So we can now start with questions that also has been sent. I will announce the winners shortly. So now the first question has said, about how people, now this is open to our panelists, how people have got hooked onto the K-drama wave during the pandemic. Do you see it getting even bigger in India? And do you feel somewhere India will become one of the prime viewers? Because as of now, it's Singapore and Philippines in Asia that's leading. I personally feel it'll take a while because, it's still very niche because people prefer watching also their homegrown content, but they're getting swept by this wave. What do you have to say, Anu, Fatima, Pooja, Dhruv, about will it now grow even more?
I definitely think so. Just considering how many I've watched in 1 year, I'm not anywhere close to you, Pooja, but I must have watched about like 30, 35 in over the last year. And, we are on a K-drama WhatsApp group, and I'm on several other K-drama WhatsApp groups as well. And just seeing, how insane and how addicted we all are, I definitely do think it's going to grow, but at what pace, that I'm not too sure of.
So
also, when you're talking about numbers, like India's niche is still a really large number in a worldwide context. That's the thing.
Yeah, 375%. That's been the increase, and Pooja, Kisa has asked you, are you going to be introducing Bingsu at level 15?
It's really complex to do it. I've thought about it and I really would love to, but I don't have my cafe anymore. So it'll be tough to do it in delivery, but let's see, someday maybe.
Okay, there's another question that's come from Janvi. Now this is to all of you, including Anilya. Do you feel that with the interest in K-dramas, do you feel there will be a demand, and also for Nishat, in K cuisine, in makeup, as well as in their fashion game? Because you already have websites selling the K look.
Yeah, so I think for food, most definitely, I think, Dhruv can agree as well. And the amount of Korean food that I've consumed over the last 1 year, and the soju that I've searched and found and got. But I think for speaking of food, it's just like I was saying, 10 years ago, it was so difficult to find even basic ingredients, but now everything is so easily available. And that's a big, big shift. You can just go on Amazon and buy everything from Korean tea to the noodles to the paste, chili paste, everything. So food, I definitely think so. And I think, fashion and things, everybody else can do it.
Analia, what do you have to say about K makeup?
I do think it's actually very popular these days as well, because I've seen so many Emerald Pacific brands like Etude House, Silver Sue, Laneige. There's so many brands, skincare brands and makeup, which is so popular. And especially those lip tints, this lip and cheek tints, which is like a really big deal in Korea. It's like coming up here. It's actually here. And because I'm looking at so many brands, like Korean brands, which are here now. Before was like, not many Korean brands, but in the past 5 years, there's so many Korean brands. So it is actually killing it now in the Indian market, definitely.
And to Dhruv, somebody's asked any vegetarian Korean food that you could recommend.
Yes, absolutely. I think Korea is all about flavors, as I mentioned. Like Korean food demand in India has really grown up. And at the same time, we're in a country where people ask for vegetarian. I think Korea has immensely good options for vegetarians. You beat noodles, beat kimchi. I think kimchi people, most of them think it's non-vegetarian, but it is actually vegetarian. And I have seen this in one of the series from Netflix. It's called The Chef's Table. There was a chef who was doing this temple cuisine. I think I was really amazed by the selection of vegetarian food this lady was putting out. So yes, for sure, there's like so many different options for vegetarians, and it's gonna grow with leaps and bounds.
And Nishat, also, you see them wearing those socks and sandals, and I know French coats have never looked sexier, but it's also essentially a cold country, so the winter outfits are way more than India. But do you see, I do see a lot of young crowd, wearing those oversized jumpers, but what impact do you see of the K fashion having here in India?
I think it's mostly in terms of picking up the style. People are picking up how to wear things. And also, for example, I teach at NIFT, and some of my students have got their ears pierced the way the people in K-dramas have, right? Or as for beauty, I mean, sheet masks, who knew we would be using them like, buying them like, tomato pyaz, but we are. So all of that has come via K-drama itself. And also men using sheet masks, and proudly portraying it on TV. That's great. So
Also,
Also, a lot of people don't realize that because there were so many Korean companies in the South, like in Chennai, there were a lot of Korean restaurants before. So I was like, before going to South Korea, if you came to South India, you could have had like a lot of Korean cuisine.
True. And also somebody
Indian Korean.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, it was opened by Korean people. So yeah.
And somebody's asked, where do they procure soju? Well, there are a lot of restaurants that serve soju, Korean stores as well. It's a little expensive, but well, let your heart lead you to it and what is expense when it comes to that. Somebody's asked, Bollywood, would it influence Korean dramas? By the way, I actually saw a Hindi remake of Descendants of the Sun. They had their poster up. So I just did my eyes, because I don't want anyone to touch my big boss and Dr. Kang. But do you feel that they are going to get influenced by Bollywood in their dramas?
Why would they?
No, we do have, them basically American shows like Suits and now the Spanish or Money Heist, a Korean version is coming. I'll wait to see, but you do see similar references, like as Anu also said, the humor and the storylines are same. The cross-border romance and ek ladka aur ek ladki kabhi dost nahi ho sakte, those typical Hindi movie feels, that happens as well. But honestly, all of you, where do you see this going? Where do you see this wave leading?
World domination. No. Well, I mean, the fact that they're being dubbed into Hindi and shown on Z5 or whatever it is, and people are now watching them in Hindi is, and that movies are being remade in Telugu and in Tamil, and they're becoming big hits. So, and also in Hindi, Bollywood is also picking them up. So, I see K-drama sort of pretty much their stories taking over India quite in many different ways.
I mean, they used to remake a lot of Korean movies back in the days, the late 90s and stuff. And of course, like frame by frame, they used to watch the DVD on set and they used to do the same shot. So it was like that. They were like twin elements. But I think also as a bit of testing the waters by dubbing Korean shows in Hindi, I think it's to suss out the response and then take it from there.
Absolutely, because the last was Radhe, didn't do too well, but let's not discuss that. But also now somebody's asked this, and it's something that I can relate to. Why do people, when they admit their love for K-dramas, are laughed at? When I started watching, I was a part of a very small percentage, and people were wondering, why did I love these pretty boys? Like, oh, Pooja and her K2, Ji Chang-wook was my screensaver, ladies. Don't judge me. And there is some 20 years between him and me, I'm sure. So, but anyways, and like Anu also, like, when you would put up one reel, some fans were like, is she making fun of them? Why do people feel that? I think it's just love, but they feel that you are either mocking them or making fun of them.
I think also, see, the thing is that before, like a particular kind of look that I used to really like in men, which was tall, tanned. And I always used to say that you can't trust a man with less hair on his hand than you have. All right. And then suddenly going from that to, I was like, wow, these men are beautiful. And my husband said, all this while I was losing out to Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Peterson. And now suddenly, I have to listen to stories about Kim Woo Bin and Ji Chang-wook. Like, how much? Like, where is the line here? I was like, there is none. That's the beauty. There is no Lakshman Rekha when it comes to Korean. I think it's the alternative masculinity, like I said, that they represent. And they're very proud of it and they wear it very easily on their shoulders. And the thing is, when people want to take offense, they can take offense to anything. Yeah? Like I did one thing about how, like Koreans have obviously a very strong back because you're always bending all the time to say, Anya sayo. I was like, wow, like it's actually, if you're not used to it, that's amazing. And they're like, oh, how can you say that? But it's an appreciation. I want to star in a Korean drama one day with my curly and I'll be the largest built Korean person to star in said drama.
And those piggyback rights. I guess during the time when I started watching, people didn't know because they were so busy watching Game of Thrones. I actually said, these are 5 dramas you rather watch. But I guess because it's a new language, but now I think now we are picking up the language. I'm also studying the language and many people are interested. So well, that's happening. And now since the world has become a smaller place, I think we all understand each other better and none of us are lost in translation. Analia, for you, a question is, what are the Korean skin care products one can buy? And what are your tips for the much sought after Korean glass skin?
So, as I said, like Korean brands are really easily available here. So you have this Laneige, it's an amazing Korean brand. And if you want to go for like a little higher, if you want to spend more money, then you have Silver. So it's really, really good. It's amazing. And then Innisfree is like easily available. And this brand has really good products, which are like suitable for all skin type, which is not very harmful. So it's really good. And for your glass skin type now, actually, I am going to show you one product. I'll just have to go. Before you apply your foundation, there's this primer which you have to use. Is this purple primer?
Okay.
This one. So this covers paleness. It's this purple primer. So this is like the key product which like Thais or Koreans, usually Asians, we use for our face to cover the paleness. And then what you do is, like I said again, don't go for full coverage foundation, because that's going to make you look very thick, you know. Even if you have like a lot of dark circles or like a lot of like acne spots, what I recommend is like just go for like spot correcting. So basically you apply like only on the spots, you know, not on the full face. And then you use like a BB cream, or in case you don't have a BB cream, but you have like a foundation, which is matte and you don't want to throw it away, you can take your like Indulgent oil or some essential oil, which is for the face specifically, mix it with your foundation and use your beauty blender. So yeah. That's the best way.
Thank you so much. And Dhruv, a question for you. Somebody's asked, do Koreans also enjoy our Indian food? Because they're also used to spices, so I guess should not be an issue.
Yes, they do. I think I have so many Korean friends out here, and we go for a chef's night out, and they really enjoy the Indian version of things what we do. So they also have a variation of small plates called banchan, if I'm pronouncing it nice. So we also have a similar culture called the small plates or a chaat papri, dahi balla. There's so many things. So I think culture-wise, we're quite similar. Flavor-wise, also quite similar, because they love spicy, and the kind of spice they do is I think nobody else is doing in the world. You know, it is fully packed with umami and the salt and the perfect balance of all the flavors. I think it's amazing. The same thing happens in Indian food. Like, you know, for example, if you eat a chaat papri, you will see the salt, sour, spice, everything at the same time. So they equally enjoy Indian food and, you know, the kind of cuisine we do. So yeah, we are bros in the game.
True, no, totally. And kimchi is like achar. Like, we can't survive without achar. And now this is for Nishat and Anu both, that even though beauty and makeup is one of the striking features, this has come from Swasti, and she's seen, but also the women are shown as being very socially empowered and independent. But is the traffic in India of K dramas majorly only for its aesthetics?
I would think it's for the story and also the romance rather than the aesthetics. Because that, I mean, we've seen some very pretty movies that had no story, and, you know, what do you do with that? But the one thing I do think I wish that Korean women would be a bit more empowered about would be maybe not standing stock still while they're being kissed, because it really feels very weird.
That's changing now. That's changing now. Watch whether it's
Mr. Queen.
or whether love, marriage, divorce. That's changing now. But there's a story behind it. Apparently, there need to be, because it's not acceptable earlier for the women to respond. So that, but now the narratives are changing. Because this was the little study that I had.
Good to hear.
But that was something that I had observed. Like, come on, do it. But well, that did not.
Yeah, also because if you know you have like this beautiful boy kissing you, and you're just like, fine, do all the work. I'll just stand there. Mehrbani kar rahe ho kya? Come on.
Amazing.
I just love that. The fact. Anu, what do you have to say to that question?
Sorry, I forgot the question now. See, now I got so sidetracked by her kissing story. Now
Yeah, the kissing stories. There are quite a few dramas with, a lot of popos, as they say.
No, about all of them it being all very filtered and pretty. No, I think what I find honestly quite fascinating is that they're a country as old as we are, just in terms of a range. The fact that their brain goes to places that you never imagined, and whatever they're selling you, you're believing it. Like, you are sucked into that world that they've created. And it's not something that I would have even thought of myself watching, whether it's a parallel universe or a space-time continuum, or it's bizarre to me. And if you say it to someone, they'll be like, what are you talking about? But you are invested because, and I think that is the beauty of their craft. So that I find hugely admirable. Like there is something for everyone. So if you want fluff, if you want something light, if you're not in the mood for something heavy, that's great. But you also have like really gritty, under the belly, psychological thrillers that are fascinating if you're in the mood for that, you know. So the bandwidth I find very commendable.
And also, you know, as you spoke about kisses, and there is not much of intimacy. Also, it's family viewing, family
Yes.
watching together. Like, nevertheless, didn't do too well in Korea because it was plus 19. So, you know, it's majorly, I think it's meant for family viewing, but that's now changing because a lot of international audience, if you see a Love Struck in the City, nevertheless, is catering to a global audience. So that's one observation. But we are seeing the narratives also changing because they're touching upon a lot more other topics, be it, you know, the LGBT, you know, issues, as we saw in Run On, in Nevertheless, infidelity, divorce, all those topics and child abuse, all those are being touched upon in the new narratives. And that's nice to see. Let's see what they have. And now I have the winners here with me. So the winners are Sakshi, Anushka, Karishma, Navya, and Kavita. Many, many congratulations.
Whoa.
And somebody's asked a very sweet question is, how many dramas do I need to watch to be a panelist? I mean, the quantity does not matter at all. You just need to be passionate the way we all are. What do you say, Anu?
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there a qualification apart from just shooting our mouth off and being wanting to be adored by Lee Min Ho? No, not at all.
Adored by Lee Min Ho? Are you being adored by Lee Min Ho? Please tell me now.
No, not at all. Now you've broken my heart by telling me that Song Joong Ki is 5'6.5". I was like, that's my height. Wikipedia is a lie. They said 5'10". I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll adjust." But now this is very difficult. High heels nahi pehen sakti main.
So anyways, thank you all so much. But parting shots, what do you have to say about this? Okay, there's another question that's come in. This is from Nishat that says, what do you think about Blackpink wearing the hanbok dress and how you like that video? Can you describe how the hanbok fashion is updated to today's?
Perfect. So I've been told very categorically to not talk about Blackpink or BTS when I know nothing about them because I will get major hate. So now I do not know about Blackpink and the hanbok dress. I only know that BTS, that Jungkook did wear some hanbok coming out from a flight. And that is the only BTS reference I can drop on this show.
We're drama fans here. We don't know much about
Exactly.
K-pop. Sorry. Yeah, I discovered K-pop through K-dramas, you know, so you all can update me on that. And there's one question for Analia. Is she there about the difference between, between Kylie Jenner's makeup and Korean makeup? Kylie Jenner's makeup and Korean makeup.
Okay, there's a lot of difference. Kylie Jenner has more, you know, contoured face, fuller lips, very defined lips, and the eye makeup is like the eyeliner is all elongated, going up, matte eyes. But Koreans, we love, I'm sorry, I'm referring myself to we Koreans because I'm a K-drama lover. But Koreans, like, we love the glass skin, you know, the glass skin, and there's very less color, less contour on the face, more contour on the nose because they love that tiny, sharp nose. And then the lips, again, I mentioned earlier, and I showed it as well. They love the baby soft lips. It's not like fuller lips, but this darker inside here. And for the eyes, right here in the love band, the shimmer should be right there.
Okay. And Anu, this is just for you. Somebody, Apurva has written, K-drama men and also boys are ruining local males for all their female fans. How difficult is marriage going to be for them when the current generation grows up?
See, luckily I was already married. So then to phas gayi thi na. So now it's too late. So now it is like a parallel life that one has to lead. You know, so on one hand you have this, and then on the other hand you have your reality, which is unusual. I mean, I love him. But whatever now. Huh? We just, there are like parallel universes in K-drama. We all have to live with one. No, but essentially, look, at the end of the day, I saw this documentary where they said in South Korea, please don't be enamored by what you see. Real Korean men are actually nothing like this. And I was like, shut up. We don't want to know the truth. We are happy in our delusion and we want to live like that. Perfection exists.
As this filmmaker said, you know, they have a unique sexiness to it. And in a parallel universe, sorry, I think I'm already married to Song Joong Ki, so I'm singing my own favorite song. But somebody here has asked you, Anu, out of the fantasy drama in Korea, which female character you would like to be? And if this fantasy drama became real, which drama you would want that one to be?
Who would I like to star as?
In a fantasy drama, which female character you would like to be? And if there was a fantasy drama you wish could be real in your life, which one would that be?
I think the King, the Eternal Monarch. I'm quite. I think that's a good one. Yeah. Like, and she's also very real. She's a strong, very real female character. She doesn't have much makeup on. Blah blah. I think Lee Min-ho has much more than she has. He is far more dressed up in regal wear than she is. So I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, so Dhruv is a huge fan of King. And Nishat, which drama are you a fan of? Sorry, Dhruv, yeah.
No, I think I was agreeing to what Anu was saying. I think she's so simple, so sober, and the kind of beauty which was coming out of her, I think it's just like, yeah, I'm a pure fan of her.
Nishat, what about you?
I think all-time favorite is The Guardian, also Descendants of the Sun. But I mean, watching 3 at a time, so cannot tell you what is a favorite right now. So
I actually feel
very democratic.
No, but I actually feel you can't pick up a favorite. Though, I mean, Dots is internal favorite, which was my first K-drama, but you can't. Everyone, because one drama finishes, you find a new love, as you said.
Exactly.
No?
And a new oppa also, too.
Exactly.
They're all getting a bit younger now.
Exactly.
All like,
we're getting older,
so
I think.
tall and attractive. I was like, it's not my fault he's only 27. Did I say?
Nuna.
I so agree with you. Thank you all. And how would you describe your obsession for K-dramas in one word? And where do you see this leading now? Last but not the least.
Sustainable.
That's the buzzword these days anyway. Sustainable.
Organic.
Zombie from lack of sleep? I don't know.
Dhruv, what about you and Analya?
I would say, I think in one word, it's very religious. I really want to know more about the culture and the kind of life they live. I think that's what I've seen, little glimpse at the chef's table with this Korean chef. But yeah, it's very religious and I would love to explore more.
Analya, what about you?
I think for me, it's not one word, but I would say I want to fall in love when I see K-drama. You just believe in love.
Absolutely. I so agree with you.
And you're always hungry. I just want to eat. Like when I'm watching K-drama, there's like noodles, there's kimchi, there's everything in front of me, and I'm just eating. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Fried chicken and beer.
As I say, absolutely, if a whole lot of females end up being single, blame it on K-dramas because that's your past. And the K-drama challenge, the K challenge will continue on the Korea tourism platform. So I'm sure our panelists also want to head to Korea as soon as travel becomes easy.
Definitely.
And anything you want to tell our viewers, our panelists, before we wrap?
We've said enough. We've said everything we had to. We've purged ourselves.
So
I mean, we can go on, but then we can never stop.
True. So basically, it's as I said, that the challenge will continue from the Korean tourism platforms. It's the K challenge and prizes to be won, and from phones and to food. So well, the sky is the limit. Thank you so much for joining us. And as they say, 사랑해요. 안녕하세요.
Yeah. And join the K challenge.
Okay, and join the K challenge. Yes, shout out to the K challenge.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. 안녕히 가세요.